Salve ragazzi e benvenuti al Kuro Naeda Live Show.
Kuro Naeda, il live show.
Bastarda!
In prima fila al tuo posto, ora rilassati un po'. Puoi trovare il contenuto giusto, perderai la testa per questo show. Non hai più scuse per non restare qui, da solo capirai che è fatto così. Tra giochi e risate ti incanterai. Kuro Naeda live show.
Alrighty, we're here. Salve a tutti. Welcome everybody and welcome to the Kuro Naeda Live Show. Here with me, once again after a whole year, is KYUUON.
Hi, I'm glad to be back. Thank you.
Like we were actually chatting a while ago, but I'm gonna ask you again just for the sake of the audience listening. How are you? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's been a good day for me. It's a little bit earlier, but I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be on here for the interview.
I'm very glad you are. Like I'm just lowering your actual like. Okay, let me just start with this how to say it, like sudden question. I didn't know you had an actual your own BGM.
Yeah,
not
so
only one but two BGMs.
yes. So last time you interviewed me, I'm sure you remember I was looking a little bit different. I had a bit of a different outfit. That one is for my first BGM. I have the picture of my first outfit with it. And I got that piece done. I'm a really big fan of music, and I found someone who was making really cool tracks, so I wanted to commission them. So I got my own special music piece, and then yet again for my new outfit, I got another one done. So I do have two of them.
Oh, we're listening to the second one right now, and
yeah.
Wow, I didn't expect that to be like you actually commissioned someone for your own BGM. That's fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Honestly, I know a lot of streamers and VTubers especially commission a lot of artwork. But I think music is something else that's really fun to commission, to have a track that's, you know, special for you. It feels really cool.
I completely agree with you, to be honest. Like, I haven't heard many people commission actual pieces of music, even though like it's the fourth art. Second art is something, but other types of art. So yeah, I actually didn't expect that, but that's a good kind of surprise.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could make music myself, but commissioning others will do. They make some really incredible stuff. So I'm glad that I was able to find people that did such an amazing job on it. But I don't know. I'm excited. I think in the future I'll definitely be commissioning more pieces of music. But we'll see.
Actually, Gakemono from our chat asks, I guess it's pretty hard to find musicians to commission.
Yeah, it definitely can be difficult. There are quite a few people who do music commissions. I find most of them on Twitter. But I also have found a lot of people who I just listen to their music on YouTube, and I didn't think they'd take commissions. But I went down into their description and they do. So, it can also be found from that if you're lucky. I know a lot of the bigger name artists obviously don't really take commissions, but I've found a lot of different people finding their music through that. You know, I didn't expect that I would, but it's been really cool to be able to reach out to people from just being like, wow, I thought you were cool. I didn't know I could even commission you.
Yeah, I didn't like. I wouldn't even think about that. Like if I loved an artist, I wouldn't think that this person that has maybe thousands or dozens of thousands of views on or even more. Then but that's something that it's actually very, very interesting. And this is like I'm sparked with so many ideas and so many questions, because we could go everywhere from music. Like this your BGM actually sparked so many questions. Oh, wait a second, why is the stream blocked? Can you hear me? Okay, we're back. I think there was a little just a little bit of lag from OBS. So I actually want to go to the root of my it was my actual last question that I wrote, but I'm now interested. Like, you've a little lag spike. You actually like, how is this KYUUON project going? Like, you've started with something pretty much that is light. You didn't want to make, or did you want to make this your main job?
Starting out, I had no intention to actually even make money from this. Like, I didn't think it would even be a possibility. I probably mentioned this the first time that we had our interview, but I will do a quick recap. I started streaming because of my friends. I used to play this game, Final Fantasy XIV, and my friends in the game, they streamed. And I thought, wow, if my friends can do it, I can do it too. So my intention was to do it to motivate me to play games. So I was streaming on YouTube, and I was just playing games. I never intended to do any artwork or any other streams. It was, you know, just kind of have fun, motivate myself to do some things. And I really didn't even think that it was possible, aside from like the really, really upper percentile of streamers, to be making this into a job. So I just never considered it, you know, I guess when I started, that it could even be something possible, you know?
Yeah, I think that, as I was saying earlier, I myself am a fan of yours, so I can speak of my empirical experience. Like, I've been caught by the appearances, because it was very colorful, and this cyberpunk vibe. I was truly enjoying it, and that later we're gonna talk about that. And then I stayed because of your cheerful personality and positive attitude. It's just radiating genuine and constant energy, and I think that is very difficult to find, like, especially on streamers, because anybody can just be like cheerful for like 1 hour during the day and put the highlights into a YouTube video. But when you do a stream that it can be 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours long, and like, it's actually like tiresome. You've done very well, so I think that anything that you've gotten from speaking of, even if those are big terms, but fame and revenue are earned, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I don't know, I'm very happy to hear that you think all those wonderful things about me and my streaming. I guess I actually, funnily enough, thought it was almost a negative thing when I started, that I talk so much, that I'm so energetic just by my disposition. Like, naturally, that's just how I am. I thought, oh wow, you know, people will be annoyed that I won't stop talking.
Who told you that? Who told you that? That's basically like the fundamental of radio. Like, you never stop talking. And that's wonderful.
It was kind of funny, because when I looked into streaming, I watched these videos on YouTube to say, like, what do you need to do? What's the biggest challenges? So it was like telling you to get a mic, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it got to the number one. It was like the most difficult thing is to keep talking and like continue to talk for your viewers to stay engaged. And I was shocked, because I didn't realize that was like something. For me, it was like I thought I could be too much with all the way I was talking. So I'm glad to know that's not the case.
Yeah, that's not the case at all. Like you, sometimes like I am how you say it? Like I focus a lot on what am I about to say. If I'm keeping to talk and talk, I'm gonna say something stupid or maybe not interesting. So I'm very self-conscious. That's the term. I see that you feel pretty chill during your streaming. I heard you sing, talk. Like you were studying Japanese as well, and you're also trying to use it as well, right?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to actually use it in my streams now. I know I do say some like key phrases in Japanese, but I'm actually trying to like use the vocabulary properly. I have had some people that do speak Japanese come into my stream, so I try my best, but I'm not fluent yet, but I'm trying.
But I mean, you're actually doing pretty well, so that's a good start. I think we've broken the ice. We can go into the more juicy questions, because I have something that I would love to talk about. And you people in the audience, feel free to override me with your questions. Of course, the audience always has the priority. So, this is pretty, I think, a lot has changed during the last year. How has it been like? Has your audience changed, or like, of course, there's more people coming to your streams, maybe DMing you, maybe even just your experience about being a social. I don't know. Tell me about it.
Well, over this past year, like you said, a lot has changed. I've definitely grown so much in the streaming space. I had never expected to get this far. It has changed some things over the past year. I was able to actually host some events because of my size. I was able to get a lot more support for it. So I did a charity stream, and we were able to hit like a little over $2,000 for the stream. And like being able to make a positive change with my audience, like with their help, it's something I never thought I could do. And so in this last year, it's been something I was able to do one time so far, but it makes me very happy to know that, you know, we're able to do something for good as well. But I don't know. Otherwise, I don't think too much has changed. I've been leaning towards going more full-time, as this is, you know, a bit of a change. You know, I'm able to, like you said before, financially support myself for my streaming. So it is something I've been looking at going into full-time, especially with the fact that I do live 2D rigging a lot for commissions. So that would be something I definitely am leaning towards in this next upcoming year. But yeah, I would say a lot has changed in terms of it. Last time, I would say my commissions were also open. And for a long time, they've been closed now. So I've been getting a lot more people looking to commission me, seeing my work, and, you know, wanting to have their model done too. So it makes me very happy that I've improved in that regard as well.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you also bring rigging art during your stream is something that has always like blown my mind, because I thought, okay, when I try to stream maybe video games, stuff like that, I always try to think on how can I make it interesting, and work never struck me as something, at least in my empirical opinion. Like if I put myself into work like voice acting in live, I'm not sure the technicalities would get appreciated. But in your case, I've seen your working streams, and they're very, I don't know, maybe the chill atmosphere. I don't know how you can be so focused in working while listening to music, singing, and reading the chat, but you do it well. So there's something that is. She took too many commissions.
Yeah, I feel like they are definitely right. I did take a few too many. I've been working really hard, but I'm a little bit unfocused sometimes because I do read the chat, but I think that's something that I guess can't be helped from me. I really love interacting with my audience. And I know a lot of people do like art streams or rigging streams, and they don't want to really say too much because they're working hard, you know? And it's hard to focus on multiple stuff, you know, when you're working hard. So I don't blame them, but I don't think I could go without talking. I love chatting about it, and I've met a lot of really amazing people actually through streaming live 2D that have come in, and I've either told them something about the program or they've taught me something, or I've even, you know, made friends who do live 2D as well. So it's really cool to be able to do that. I know it's a little bit more of a niche art category. But I don't know, it's really cool to meet other like-minded people who enjoy the same thing.
Yeah, actually, this brings us to another question that goes both, does, how to say that? Sometimes I have this English problems because I think in Italian and then it gets weird. So it goes both into the rigging artists category and the cyberpunk waifu one. Actually, like, you have an experience as a VTuber right now, and of course you've been contacted by other people that want to be VTubers, right? And what do you what do you think is something that is needed as a VTuber? Like, I think that many people has come to you to ask for a rigging model, maybe ask for advice, so the VTuber won't want to be, or if you could give advices to other people that want to be VTubers and so on, what would you say? Like, what kind of people have you met? What the most common mistake, or maybe the things that excite you the most about new people?
Sure, I have a couple different things. So for anyone who's looking to try VTubing, they haven't done any streaming and they just, you know, they have a lot of favorite VTubers and they think, you know, I'd like to try it too. Yeah. My recommendation for people like that is to start streaming. You don't need a model. Like, you don't need to have a full model to start streaming. There are so many people that just use like a PNG or a picture, and I think that would fall into a big mistake if you're not sure if you even like streaming, you know? You need to find that out before you spend so much money on a model, and they can be very expensive. So there is another alternative, making like a Vroid model, which is like a 3D model. You can make it all yourself, and there are some like assets you can buy on websites like Booth, but it's a very cheap way to get started, and you can still have like face tracking with a 3D model. It is from a base. You don't have to know too much 3D. That's actually how I started. I started with a Vroid model. I made it myself. I spent a long time creating it, but I would say those are the best ways to start. Start out, see if you enjoy it before anything. In terms of different VTubers I've seen, there are VTubers of every category, you know, in, I guess, every different way. There are people who, like me, are very energetic and talkative and high energy. There are people who are more low energy, very chill, you know, more relaxing, you know, art streamers, specific game streamers, you know, there's endless possibilities, really.
Do you think one should focus on the art they prefer to view themselves on, or choose an art style or a model that reflects their personality, the character they want to represent?
I would say that I think that what the person wants to be representing is the most important. So making a character that they would feel comfortable being, because VTubers are not just like, for some people they are a character that you're playing, but for someone like me, it's like, you know, me, like, you know, it's like myself. I don't want to feel like I'm, I guess, in a wrong body or something. I feel more comfortable with it representing myself, but I do know there are people that prefer it the other way, where they're, you know, playing a character. So I think it can work very well either way. But if you're not there to be like acting on your stream and you're there to be yourself, I think picking what you feel represents yourself best is the best option. Yeah, I don't know. I think that it ends up fitting people the best. I know people have told me that my voice fits my model very well.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
yeah, and I only really, picked this style because that's the style I like, and I modeled my VTuber after myself. But I know some people also don't really care to model their VTuber after themselves. It's like a character creator, it's a fantasy character. You can be whatever you want to be. So I don't know, I think everything can kind of work in different ways depending on what you're going for. But I think that if you have a genuine connection to your design and your model, it'll definitely show in the energy you give towards it. So that's, I guess, a little bit of a complicated answer, but
No, it was very clear, at least to me. Yuki Clocksong says, I also think you shouldn't go into streaming that you'll thinking, I suppose, that you'll be the next big thing. Do it for fun and try to make it a job, make it a fun hobby if you enjoy it.
yes,
Yeah,
I agree with that very heavily. I don't know. I think if you're going into streaming and you're intending it to be a job, it's like, I don't know, it's like looking at it like you're supposed to be making money when that's not really the case at all. Like anything that anyone has given to me, it's been like an honor to receive support, and I put it back into the stream. It's not like, I don't know, it's not, I never considered it like, you'd be making money. And I think people can tell as well, your energy is completely different when your goals are just to make money and not, your community first. So I think that's definitely the worst way to go into it, is if you're thinking you're gonna be a big streamer and get a lot of money. I would say probably don't try streaming if that's how you feel. Try it for fun, with what you enjoy.
Yeah. Also, because if you're entitled to money, it's probably gonna make you feel like if you don't get any, it's going to be like a failure of a stream, of a day, of a month. While if you have fun, well, you can just enjoy everything that goes up from there. It's only a plus. Yeah, I would say that. Gakemono asks, I've always wondered what kind of relationship people have with their VTuber avatar. For example, do you see it more like your creation or your alter ego? It's actually a good question.
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. I think it does depend from person to person. For me, it's definitely like my alter ego, which is why I feel, I guess, so strongly connected to it. I did model my VTuber after myself, after the style I like. And I wanted it to be like, me, but an anime waifu.
Yeah, so there's no real difference between you and like you behind the screen and KYUUON.
Yeah, I don't know, that's kind of how I wanted it. I was never looking to play a character, though I do look to have some lore for my, VTuber.
Yeah, because some people actually roleplay their characters, so they have a lore, they are strictly into it, and they play the character all the time. You seem very genuine, and I haven't really I know that like KYUUON as a cyberpunk waifu is like a virus, and all the lore that is, I think, expanding right in this very moment. Like, you're working into it, or is it already ended?
I'm just kind of coming up with ideas, honestly. Okay. I've not set anything in stone, and I actually, when I started streaming, I didn't have any lore whatsoever. I was just like anime girl. Because it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't me playing a character, so I guess it didn't occur to me that I needed lore. Like, I was just like, oh, this is the style I want to be, this is what I want to look like, this is the vibe I want to give. So I know for some people, and just to go quickly back to it, for the question that Gakemono asked, for people that are like, acting into it, I think they view their VTuber as their creation, because it's, it's not them, it's the character that they're playing. And so I think that's where, I guess, the difference lies a little bit. But I think that I guess both sides of VTubing. It's really interesting, and that's kind of why I want to make more lore, because I think it is fun to play into the lore a little bit. But I think most of the time I'm just a regular KYUUON.
Okay, like I suppose there is a peculiar yet easier way to look into it. Like I think it's even more refreshing to talk to somebody that isn't playing a character, it's just themselves. And of course, a character hasn't that much depth compared to an actual person that has actual experiences and not fake ones. So, another little question related to this very topic. Do you have you met people like in your DMs or in the audience that actually saw you as a character and not as a person?
I definitely would say so. Not so much in DMs I've ever felt that way, but I've definitely had people view me as a character in terms of like they'll ask, you know, based on my lore. They'll be like, "Oh, you know, if you're this, like, could you elaborate your like as to why?"
Sorry, can you kindly repeat? I heard a little bit of like spike.
Oh, sure, you're totally fine.
Thank you.
Just that sometimes I will have people come to me and they'll view me as like a character, not really in my DMs, but mostly in like stream chat. They'll ask me a question that you know, I guess alludes to my lore, and they'll ask me to elaborate.
Yeah.
And most of the time I don't have a good elaboration. Like I don't have a true answer because I don't know. Like I didn't create my lore that far. They're thinking further ahead than I am. So they'll ask me and I'll kind of like play it off, and then they'll get really into, you know, asking about my lore and stuff, which I don't think that's bad, you know, being interested in a VTuber's lore, but I was just unprepared. So I definitely could feel that they were viewing me as a character in that sense, just because, you know, that's what they cared more about. They cared more about like the lore of my design and my look, you know. But I would say that's very rare. I think I've only encountered it maybe 2 times, maybe 3.
I see.
So it's not very common for me that people are viewing me as, you know, not really, I guess, a person, because I think it is very clear that I am just being myself, and I'm not really, you know, pretending to be, you know, a certain character or something, you know. I think it's honestly quite hard to do that for hours and hours on stream, basically pretend to not be yourself.
I mean, I think you can actually hide behind like a mask, so you can actually like play the part and you don't feel uncomfy, since everything that doesn't work, it hasn't been like your fail, but the mask's fail. But I see, I can see that being pretty difficult. It depends on the person, to be honest. Depends on the person.
Yeah, I agree.
And speaking of which, like I've seen many people like viewing VTubers, especially when the fact that a character, as you said, is pretty clear that there's a character. Maybe the voice is too pitched in a particular way, or maybe they have some gimmicks that are used to be peculiar in their own way, and to make themselves like comfort character for the audience to interact with. What do you think about that? Like, have you ever thought like maybe I could be a character? Like I've seen that this kind of VTuber content, let's say content, is very, very, very well received from the specific kind of audience. What do you think about that? Have you ever thought about going that way?
I don't know. I guess I haven't really thought about it too much. I would say that, yeah, VTubers specifically do have, you know, I guess like certain audience that they are well received by. But I don't know. I think in terms of different VTubers, you know, being, I don't know how to put it. Maybe, like you said, comfort characters.
Yeah.
You know, they're being there to play that part. You know, as a comfort character. I don't know. I think it is definitely good that there is variety like that. You know, and that people are receiving it well, you know, that people are able to distinguish, you know, there are VTubers who do play into that, you know, I'm a character and, you know, I'm acting. And then there are people that are, you know, real people. And I would say in that aspect that I'm glad that the overall community can embrace both of those different sides. And for the most part, the people that are consuming VTuber content, they can really realize that there is a real person behind that character, regardless of if it's, you know, they're playing the character or they're just being themselves. There's a living person behind there. And I think that a lot of people are able to like distinguish that and kind of take that into account when they're thinking about them. Of course, some people will not be able to, but it's good to see that people like are considerate to the person who's behind the camera, because there are people that have, you know, been in that, hey, I'm playing a character kind of space, and then decided, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm tired of having my voice strained all the time and, you know, pretending to be fake. And so it's hard, you know, it's difficult. So I'm glad that their audiences can like receive them well as well. Like, I think it's a very supportive space.
That's very good
which
to
makes
hear.
me happy.
Have you got any funny or peculiar anecdotes about that?
About people
anything.
switching?
Yeah.
Or
just some people in the audience just not realizing there's a real person. I don't know. Anything goes.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't had, like I mentioned before, I haven't had too many people come into my stream specifically. Because as from the start, I always, you know, portrayed myself as I am. I never changed my voice in terms of like trying to make people believe I didn't sound the way I sound. But I would say in terms of other streamers, you know, I have seen a really interesting, I guess I would say, thing with one of the biggest streamers out there in the VTuber space, at least on Twitch. She ended up like having a completely different character, and she had a faked really high-pitched voice, and she decided to just go with her normal voice, which was more, you know, toned as my voice is, you know, was not high-pitched at all. And she changed her design over to something that fit her more, and it was just really, I guess, interesting to see the support and, you know, I guess how people reacted, because I know that they were very scared, which I can understand. I'd be scared too. But I don't know. I think that's the closest encounter I've had with something like that, just because of my stance where I never experienced it personally, and most of the people that I spoke to weren't playing a specific character. They were also kind of just embodying a character that they made. So I guess I don't have too direct experience, but it's good to see that you're able to change, you know, if you started somewhere and you wanted to do something, you know, you realize later you're more comfortable the other way.
Yeah, like not changing into something that fits the audience more, but something that fits you more. That's something very refreshing to hear, because I've heard many horror stories about this kind of world, so it's very good to hear that there aren't many of your experience, at least. I suppose that your attitude actually attracted the kind of audience you actually wanted, because you didn't force anything, so you just magnetically attract people that are the best for you.
Yeah, I will say, of course, there are times that goes by, like in chat.
Now,
you know,
I'm sorry. Can you kindly repeat this last sentence?
Oh, sure.
I'm having some lag spikes. I don't know why.
No, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. I was just bringing it back to what we were talking about before quickly about, you know, changing the design and like your voice. Lukey mentioned, and as you did, that sometimes, you know, you can hear horror stories. Sometimes things don't go so well. And I think that is true. But when people do it, I will always hope that it's for their comfort, and they'll be able to feel better in their space and their, I guess, inside their own skin, so to put it, as their VTuber model. They feel more comfortable. So I would hope that goes for everyone, and I hope there's not too many bad cases out there. But as for, let's see, I forgot the other thing that we had mentioned before I switched.
No problem. Like, we're talking about like change. Yeah, actually.
Oh, I do remember. Sorry.
Okay.
So you had mentioned that I very, very kind, but that I like radiate this energy, and since I'm able to be myself, I haven't had like that forced kind of feeling, and I've attracted the audience that I wanted. I will touch on something quickly, because at first, when I first started VTubing, there was one big thing about VTubers that stuck out to me, and it was in the early VTubing space. The big thing was like lewd. VTubers are like lewd, and it's funny to like joke about being lewd, or to like be lewd, or like lewd the VTubers. It's a big thing. And at first I played into it thinking I'll just make lewd jokes, I'll just make jokes about it and that'll be fine, it won't be serious, so they won't, be directing that lewd energy towards me. But in making those jokes, of course, that energy does get directed towards you. And I realized it pretty quickly, and I decided, I just don't feel comfortable with this. I'm just gonna stop. And thankfully, I realized it very early on that, even making jokes of that sort is just not, if you don't want to be in that space, you don't have to be. But I got the wrong idea from it being my first experience with streaming and seeing how everyone else acted that was, pushed. So
I remember this very conversation been made on your live. I was there in the chat, and I think it's mostly because of the fact that since you have an avatar, it doesn't have for you to be like a character, but just because you're an avatar, people could feel like okay with looting the avatar itself, because they say, I'm not trying to loot you, that will be creepy, but I'm just looting your avatar. It isn't linked to you, but
it feels like it's you.
Yeah. I mean, it's something. It could be done with malice. It could be. It could have a mischievous intent, or maybe just a jokeful one. But luckily, you've stopped before attracting a kind of popularity and audience that couldn't. I mean, could make you feel a little bit less at your ease.
Yeah, I'm glad, like I said, that it was something I realized early on. Like I did play into it for the first few, I guess, months of streaming on Twitch. But after that, I was like, okay, I felt uncomfortable, and I thought, I found out that, there's plenty of people that don't act that way, and so most of the time, maybe they're not as popular of a VTuber, because, the lewdness is always pushed. But I felt much more happy that I could feel like myself and not feel like I had to constantly, I guess, be looking over my shoulder and thinking like, gosh, what are people thinking about me? Like it just made me feel a little bit more at ease to kind of shift my content. I don't know if wholesome is the right word, but to just kind of stop making those jokes, stop alluding to anything like that, because that's just, I guess a mistake that I made early on when I was streaming, and I'm glad it was just early on and I fixed it, and I feel so happy I did, because my community that I've built through, the way that I actually feel has been so supportive and so kind, and many of the people did know me back when I had made those comments, but they all really respect that I decided to go forward with what I was more comfortable with.
Also because probably you had some VTuber experience back in the day, as a spectator, as a viewer, and many other VTubers are into those lewd jokes, so it's like understandable that you've come to think that it was okay to make them without having backlash from it. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, hopefully your audience right now feels very supportive of what you are.
Yeah, I'm glad they do. I've definitely, of course, always had people that come into the chat and say some questionable things, but I'm glad
Yeah.
to see the community will usually just bonk them, like that they're acting
Bonk the loot
acting
out of
that
them.
way. Yeah, exactly. Like they'll be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
They'll bonk
We don't do
them.
that here. We don't do that here.
Exactly. So it makes me feel good that, people are supportive of that. I think it's actually, I guess, I don't know if the comforting is the right word, but like a comfy part of the community is, I guess, that it's, a lewd-free zone, it's not.
Mhm.
It's not sexual in any nature. Yes, I say curse words and, I'll joke about stuff, but like I'm not lewd, it's maybe not fully wholesome, but I think that the community does enjoy that, not having to feel that, like, I guess, awkward pressure, because I'm sure some viewers also don't enjoy some of those comments. They're happier just to know the streamer rather than, have to know them with the lewd comments.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that since it's your audience, they actually, I suppose, they can feel what your ideal stream is. So yeah, I can feel that. We've got some comments on our chat, and it's always important that you're comfortable in your stream, says Ryuki Clocksock. You have to shape into what you want and how you want people to interact with you.
Exactly.
And Gakimono asks, on top of that, and to this, question for both. What do you think are the main tools a streamer has to shape an audience and or setting boundaries? Oh, to both, to me as well. Oh wow, I'm the one being interviewed by the channel as well. Didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I, as a variety streamer that is using his real face, I think the main tools, I think that I myself like to focus on something that I want to share. Like, it isn't like, have you ever seen that movie about that one actor? I don't remember his name. That it was like on camera since his birth, and everyone was an actor.
Oh yes, I know which movie you're talking about. I don't know the name either.
Yeah. So since we are not dead, you have to choose something that you want to share with other people. It could be anything. I like myself to share my passion about voice acting. So everything that goes into that, I think it's my tool. Like, my tool is my voice. So I like to share maybe my goofiness and my joking with my voice and so on. That is the tool. I think the gimmick, if you want to call it that, you have to a gimmick to focus on, and then anything just shapes around it. And if you just gotta see what you prefer, what you don't. In your case, I think that once you found out that you didn't really like the fact that other people were looting you, I mean, you just take a step back. That's it.
Yeah. I think, as for my answer, I think for the main tools to shape an audience, I would say outputting the energy you want to get back in. So, for example, if you output lewd energy, people are going to act lewdly towards you. If you output, more angry energy or raging gamer, people are going to be angry in the chat. Like, I think that the best way to find the people is to act, the way, I guess, that you want other people to act towards you. I guess it's treat others the way you want to be treated, I guess. But I think that that's like a great way to get the people that you want, at least in my opinion. When it comes to setting boundaries, I think that can be a little bit hard, at least for someone like me. When I went into streaming, I was more of like, I guess, a people pleaser kind of person, and I still do have that. within me, but I felt like every single chatter like was right, and they would be like the reason I'll change my whole stream for just one chatter that has like a different idea about what I should be doing. I was very, I guess, insecure. But having the confidence to put my foot down, like being stern and firm with how you feel, I think is important. And saying, you know, okay, well, this is, you know, done. No more of this because I don't like it and it makes me uncomfortable. Like being very clear with your audience, I think is important, because there are people who are going to respect that and there are people who are going to disrespect that. And, you know, you just need to be confident in it, because what makes you comfortable is, you know, the whole reason for the stream. You don't want to be letting yourself feel uncomfortable during your stream. It's for you, not for someone in the audience. You know, one person shouldn't change the entire comfort of your stream. So
yeah, I actually feel that way as well. I feel also the pressure of being a people pleaser, because you think I'm trying to stream for other people. So if they want something, why wouldn't I morph myself into giving them what they want? But then you realize, if you like, it isn't like a straight line. You can actually move a little bit, but if you go completely out of line, like outside of your comfort zone, once you please other people so much that you don't please yourself, that's the line. And it's difficult to understand where that comes, because sometimes you just say, I can just try. At least I can maybe a little push, you know, to please other people. But yeah, I'm glad that you feel that you set up your boundaries and you know now how to be stern about it. Don't change yourself for just one person, or maybe even 10, but you're first of all the leader, and sometimes it's a good way to see that you're the dictator of your channel. You choose. It's no democracy.
Yes.
And Kakimono adds, did streaming help with boosting your confidence? That is a good question.
It is. I will actually say it definitely did. I felt so much more confident after I started streaming, more confident in myself, you know, more confident in my feelings, you know, more confident in, you know, feeling like, I guess, putting up my boundaries and, you know, my time, you know, my health, putting myself first. It helped me with so many different things. And honestly, I never expected that when I went into streaming. I didn't think it was going to be so helpful for my confidence, you know, my mental health and everything. But it really, I think I'd be in a very different place if I hadn't started streaming. And I think that's kind of crazy, because I never thought I could, you know. I thought it was so crazy, so out of reach. But I definitely would say it positively impacted me.
Like, can I ask a little question? Like, maybe you can feel free to, like, it wasn't even scripted. Like, are you an actual like, do you feel like a timid person in real life?
I'm definitely kind of timid. But over the years I've gotten more confident to talk to people, you know. I used to be someone that couldn't, you know, order my own food at a restaurant.
Oh wow.
Or like I couldn't, you know, do many things, but I worked quite a few jobs in like retail and, you know, things like that, where I had to deal with customers and pick up the phone, and that helped me a little bit, but I was never able to put my foot down in terms of confidence. Like, I gained the confidence to just like answer the phone and like be, you know, present and talking, but I didn't have enough confidence to say how I really felt, say, you know, hey, this isn't okay with me. So streaming did, I guess, give me that extra boost. But I would say overall, I tend to be pretty timid in person, unless there's a reason for me to be talking to someone. I don't go out of my way to say anything to anyone. And I would say when I'm in a group, I tend to be more like to myself. You know, I'm not the leader of the group or anything, so I am a little bit more timid. but I'm glad I'm able to manage myself, you know.
Yeah, I ask because people will. I mean, I myself will think that you will be completely the opposite in real life. Like, since you're so irradiating this positive energy and so on, maybe even outside that that is mirrored. But in this case, it isn't, because you feel more at your ease with because you can see your audience. Maybe because your audience is someone you feel at ease with.
Mm-hmm.
It's that. It's there. I see. And talking about being at ease, this is some comfort question, to be honest. Like, what's your favorite type of stream? Like, since you do both, you do gaming, you do art, you do just chatting. I've seen you play a lot of rhythm games, so
yeah, that's a hard one.
Ooh, you don't have a favorite one?
I would say, honestly, I'm stuck between two. Two things are gonna be my favorite. It's gonna be playing rhythm games, my Project Heartbeat that I play, or streaming live 2D rigging. Those are my two favorites. I do like playing the variety games and trying out new games, but I think over the entirety of the time that I've streamed, one of my very first few streams was actually Project Heartbeat on YouTube. I think it was like my fourth, maybe my third or fourth stream was Project Heartbeat. And so since the very beginning of me streaming all the way up until now, I've played that game. So I would say, because it's stuck out the longest, I'll say that's gonna be my number one, just because it's been in my streaming since the very beginning.
Kuro has to join the cult now, says Yuki. I mean, I think I try to. Or maybe I still am. Maybe you sacrificed me. Not pretty sure. I don't remember exactly, since most raids when I come into your streams are like late in the night, like 4 a.m. So
yes.
Yeah.
You need to get sleep. I don't blame you.
Yeah. And especially about talking about the rhythm games. Like, rhythm games, I love them. Problem is with rhythm games, you need to be very focused, like very focused. So you can watch the chart at that moment. I mean, I've seen you answer people during and talk during the rhythm game. I'm not sure how you manage to do that. I don't have any enough brain power to do so, but you managed. But speaking of which, what do you think your audience prefers? Like, what's your audience preferred kind of stream? And do you have different kind of audiences? Do you see people are more present during one kind of stream, maybe just chatting, maybe the rigging one, or game, because maybe they're gamers, so they like to see their favorite cyberpunk waifu playing video games. Like, it is understandable.
I will say that there is a lot of people do watch regardless of the content that I make, but I will say that there are people that come in specifically for certain pieces of content. Like, I can tell, for example, Project Heartbeat. I'm, friends with a lot of people who play the game. It's a community. We're pretty tight knit, but we all play together. And when they see me streaming, many of them show up just to hang out or watch me play. And while some of them do still show up when I play other things, most of the time I will only see them for the Project Heartbeat stream. There are people who like to learn live 2D rigging, and they want to be there to see me, either work on their model or work on another model so they can learn. They might be, only in my stream for that content. And then there are people that are for specific games. So games I don't play as much, but, for the Neptunia series, I can think of a couple people that come into my stream specifically because of that. That's the category that they're looking to see. So I would say there's definitely groups of people for preferences of different categories. As for my viewers' favorite overall, I will say it's probably live 2D. Not gonna lie, I think that live 2D would be a favorite. You know, I think a lot of people like seeing the different ideas that I have. They like learning. They like just seeing it come to life, even if they don't understand. I think it is probably the biggest category on my stream. That's when most of the people will come in to watch.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting because, like, as I said, making a live stream of work, like it's actual professional work, is something that is very difficult to make into entertainment. But you actually managed to do so, and I see that many people actually appreciate, especially Yuki. That I see he comes to live 2D to see people's baldness. Yeah, that's
Yes.
kind of funny. That's kind of funny, even to see them distort in horrible ways. But
Yeah, it's always a journey, but I think people like that I interact a lot during those streams. So a big thing is I see people streaming art, and like we mentioned before, they're a little bit more quiet, they're a little bit more soft-spoken, they don't have a lot to say because they're working, you know, they're busy. It takes a lot of brain power to be able to do the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
But I think that people enjoy that I like to talk or I'll like to explain something. So if someone's like curious about something, I'll be like, you know, let me show you what I do, or I don't know, let me figure it out. And I've learned some stuff on my stream because people have asked me questions and I wanted to be able to answer them for them. So I think it's pretty good. It's a learning space for me, for them. You know, I think it's good because I'm chatting, and sometimes when I'm not chatting, I can't read the chat. I just have to focus. I'll be like singing along to a song and just, you know, I guess not really thinking too much about it. But I think reading chat is probably one of my biggest things that I do. Like you mentioned, with even when I'm playing Project Heartbeat, I'm reading the chat, you know, and seeing what people have to say. But I think that's that one at least is a little bit of a skill-based thing. It's very hard to be able to read the chat and play the game. I can only read very short messages.
I probably wouldn't even be able. I've played rhythm games. I don't think I could be able to play that one game. That looks very difficult, especially to focus on and entertain people. I just can't.
I don't know. I feel lucky that I guess skilled. I guess lucky that I'm skilled enough to be able to shock people with my rhythm gaming. I know there's so many people better than I am, but I feel, I guess, really cool when people think, wow, you know, you're so good at that game, you know? It makes me feel like, you know, yeah, because for a long time I thought, I'm not good at any games. Like, I'm not really, I got started into playing games really late in my life, I would say. Like, the first game that I played that wasn't turn-based, I was probably like 11 years old, maybe 12. But when I played my first non-turn-based game, which being like not Pokemon or like The Sims or something, you know, or like Wii Bowling. It was like an actual game. I played Kingdom Hearts. And it shook me to my very core. I like died all the time. I did not know how to do real-time combat. So I felt like I got into gaming pretty late because a lot of my friends were very good at games, and I felt like I had only, you know, really played basic games, like no games in 3D at least. Now that I think about it, technically, real-time combat in Yoshi's Island. There is real-time combat.
I mean, Yoshi's Island. That game. I mean, I'm not sure how difficult it would be, like back in the day, but understandable. It has the spikes of difficulty. I myself am a turn-based gamer. I fucking love being able to think all the time I want.
Yes, me too.
I'm like, I can just relax.
I get so stressed when I have to go like and hit them all.
Yeah. Yeah, so Pokemon has always been one like a comfort game of mine. I'm like, I can just think. I don't even have to think a lot because it isn't that difficult game.
But I don't know. It's very fun in that vein, you know. I like Persona because of its turn-based combat as well.
Persona is just glorified Pokemon. We can say that. It has collecting. You collect monsters and creatures. It's turn-based.
And a team of people.
Yeah. I mean, my cat's name is Morgana, so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Morgana. Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's a cutie. Even though I'm not sure if there's like a close scratch on my microphone that has been done tonight when I was eating my dinner. Morgana, you're gonna have less food as a punishment. I won't go to bed early tonight.
A stern talking to.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm very curious about, since your KYUUON project has started, like I would say you've emerged, since you do have an audience, you have some habitués, you have new people coming all the time, you're a variety streamer. Have you thought about like going outside of, you have some plans about going outside of Twitch, outside of the streaming events, maybe something else? I don't know.
In terms of like outside of streaming, doing different types of content.
Yeah.
I've thought about actually making like YouTube videos. But I know in terms of
You've done shorts.
time. Yeah, I've done shorts. I thought about making more of those in terms of like clipping my Twitch, but I guess I kind of connected that to still being on Twitch.
Yeah.
I've tried as well to put those shorts on TikTok. I would say, as for like outside of Twitch, I don't have any big plans for anything. I think that for me, I used to stream on YouTube, and when I switched to Twitch, I don't think I will ever switch back. The quality of life on Twitch is like insane compared to YouTube. It was like a complete change. It felt like everything is so much better here. So I think that's going to be where I continue to focus my content. But I think the other main platform that I use would probably be Twitter in terms of like places that I try and be on. But I think using social media in general is kind of hard for me. I detached myself from it a little bit a long time ago, so I think it's a little bit troubling when I have to check it, so. But it is what it is.
And about, like, have you thought, since you also commissioned, like, music, and you have, like, pixel art, have you thought about, like, making a game out of your lore?
I actually have thought about it. I think it would be really cool. I don't think I have the skills to be able to do it, and I don't know if it would ever come to fruition, but, I would love to see it happen, even though I don't think it would anytime soon, or I guess I didn't have any plans for it in the future, but I've definitely like thought about it in terms of like me being able to be in a game, I guess a little bit. A little bit off track, but the game Project Heartbeat, the rhythm game that I like, they haven't added it, but they've teased some future additions that they might be adding a editor for 3D models, so you can import your 3D model and make them dance as a background video. And make your own...
that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. So I'd be able to put my 3D model in the background and do all the different dance moves, and I could chart my own songs. So I could have basically like the 3D model like go through an entire sequence and make like a little movie video for a couple minutes. And I was thinking to relate that to my lore probably. So that would be the closest thing I could get if it does happen, if the game does add that, I'll definitely be doing that. So technically I will be in a game, and
that would be very cool.
Speaking on that, I do have something, I'm not going to reveal too much, just because, it's still in progress, but I might be
announcement time.
Yes, I might be having an official collab with that game, Project Heartbeat.
Ooh, unofficial collab?
Yep. Yeah, the creator asked me if I would like to, so I won't spill what the collab is on, but we're trying to get some stuff together, so I might technically be an official part of the game.
That's crazy. I was actually gonna ask if you had some dream collabs or if you wanted to do like a dream collab with project. You actually have one in. Okay, that's awesome. I'm gonna stay tuned for it. You've gotta tell me when. I'm gonna tell you when.
I was so shocked, honestly, when they even said that they'd like to do something like that, like an official collaboration. You know, I was like, really? Like, I've spoken to them before. They come to my stream sometimes, the one who made the game. And they, you know, have given me keys, actually, for the giveaways. You know, I've done Project Heartbeat giveaways for my debuts. And they gave me some keys to give away on my debut. Twice, actually, now. So that I could give away the game, because they know I really like it.
But Joe actually asks if it is a Kickstarter project or a corporation project. I think it's just a collaboration. Is that so?
It would be a collaboration project. In terms of Project Heartbeat, they're just a game on Steam. It's an indie game. They have a small development team. I think the leader, he's pretty much the main and only one working on it. I think there's one other person, so it's like a 2-person team working on the game. But it would be just a collaboration project. You know, it would you know, kind of, I guess, be adding some KYUUON elements into the game optionally.
No, I can't wait. I can wait. I need to be notified when this comes out, when this becomes official.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be telling everyone about it, because I'm still shocked that they even, you know, brought it up to me. And we don't have a date set out or anything for it, because I know they're busy, of course, you know, running their game. They're like a one-man show. So I know that they're busy as well, but I'm very excited. Yeah, it's Project KYUUON.
Project KYUUON. That will be.
Yes.
You know what? The day it comes out, if I manage to get my hands on the key, or if I will try the game with my enormous skills as a rhythm gamer.
I'd love to see you play. Honestly, I'd probably, if I knew you would be getting it, I'll give you some recommendations of some songs. So
yeah, I mean, I'm you told me you have no idea for a date at this very moment, but I mean, could be interesting. Like if we got enough time. But Bone says sounds like a visual novel. Actually, it wouldn't be too bad. Like it is actually kind of canon to have a virus, a waifu that is a virus inside of a video game. Like it gets inside of the video game you want to play.
I infected the code.
Oh yeah. I already have Project KYUUON. She's been destroying my PC slowly, says Luke. Is that so?
I promise I didn't do it.
Is your kind of virus like the one that actually spreads and duplicates, or is just you that go and come and go in different softwares and so on?
It would be me coming and going, because technically I don't duplicate. I'm only one. I know we were mentioning how I don't have too much lore, but for my lore, I do have. I started out as a regular human being. Ooh. So just like you guys, I'm a human being.
Really? Didn't expect that.
Yeah, and I am living in the cyberpunk future, just doing my thing, you know. As is in cyberpunk futures, there are corrupt organizations afoot. So, you know, being a bit of a troublemaker, I may or may not have broken into one of their secret laboratories, and they had a machine I was unaware of, and it sucked me into the digital space, into cyberspace, and that's how I got trapped in cyberspace, and how I became a virus and started streaming, infecting all of you guys' PCs.
I see. So your actual real body is like sleeping while your mind is the virus itself.
It's like that idea. So I don't know. I'll have to flesh it out a little
bit
more.
Like Netrunner.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to have a little bit of lore for my second outfit, the one that I'm wearing now. Or technically as well with this one, the poncho. I haven't
Ooh.
shown so a different jacket, but I got a new style because I said, oh well, I found the exit. I broke out of cyberspace. You know, I was able to free myself. And I came out into the city and I got some new clothes, and now I can freely go back and forth whenever I please. Now that I found the exit.
That sounds that's like the after the first arc, it gets the power, and then you can go on, and then another problem comes out. I actually would love to read like a visual novel or a graphic novel about this kind of character. I love your design.
Yeah, I was actually having some help from some friends fleshing out some ideas the other day, just to kind of like give life to the world, like, you know, kind of, I guess, give a little bit of lore to that evil, corrupt organization, you know. So I actually, I will share that thanks to a friend's help, I was able to get the acronym SEA, like C Corporation, because you know how a lot of evil corporations, they have like acronyms that stand for something. But a little known fact about me is I am afraid of the ocean. I am terribly, terribly scared of the water and the sea. So I thought, you know, after, with some help, that having the word sea as the acronym would make sense as to why I'm so scared of the sea, you know. So it does have some meaning, but
yeah, like a thanatophobic virus. No, wait, it's not thalassophobic. No, thanatophobic virus doesn't. I don't think a virus can die.
Well,
maybe they can get trapped.
Still...
They can get trapped by antiviruses or something like that.
Yeah, and technically, I guess water is always bad for viruses or computer programs, so it does make sense.
It sounds so good. Like you can make so many things out of it. I also dig the design. I just told you, but I'm just looking straight into it. So I'm digging it. Can you show us some variations? Like I've seen them in your live, but
oh, my hairstyles and stuff.
Yeah. I see. Yep. You can do many changes. Like your model has changed so much for the better, of course, during the last year. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. I debuted this one back on my birthday last year, so back in the end of July. But I was so happy to do multiple hairstyles, so I could have my short hair. I can a little bit of short hair. I can have super short, like tomboy hair. So a lot of people like the tomboy. I think the tomboy goes good with the jacket. The tomboy and the jacket.
Yeah. I suppose it does.
We've got the ponytail, which I like the ponytail with no jacket. I feel like it's very sporty. I feel like I'm gonna go for a run, go for a jog. But the ponytail is pretty long. And then I have the pigtails. So you know,
that's very idolish.
Yeah, Hatsune Miku.
Yeah. I mean, it does have the kind of vibe.
Yeah,
maybe
here,
longer and smaller, like slimmer ponytails, but yeah. Oh, okay, okay. Now I see that. This
is my cosplay for Hatsune Miku.
I've never seen like a VTuber cosplay. That's
it's very
a first.
simple.
That's a first.
But yeah, I can do a little Hatsune Miku dress up. I think it's fitting because she's the, I guess she's not the character from Project Heartbeat, but from that type of game, she's a main character.
Yeah, I've been growing up with Ozu as my favorite rhythm game, so yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah, the last thing, let's see what I've got here. Let me go back.
Where's the tattoo number on the arm, asks Barbonajo.
Well, ooh. I don't have a tattoo, but I have kitty cat ears.
I see. Mm-hmm. They're actual ears. They move. They're not like add-ons.
Yeah, they go to my blinks. and they to my head.
I love how like there's Neo in Matrix that he installed Kung Fu into himself. You installed Nekomimi.
Yes. Actually, let's see if I have it here. I do. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little closer.
Yeah.
I don't know. You see my hair clip here? This is from my favorite game, Project Heartbeat. That's their logo. So I've got a little hair clip when I'm playing the game, so I can.
That's so cute. That's also very smart. It's a little like detail. If someone looks closer, you can notice it. Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a cute idea. I know it's very small, but I don't know. I think it's fun.
It is, and yeah, I have so many questions about the lore, but as you said, I want also on the project, the collaboration you spoiled us about. But I think time will be the answer for that.
Yes.
Do you have anything you want to, it's like some anecdote in your or beautiful thing you've encountered in your career? Let's say career, even though maybe it's too hard of a term, too heavy of a term, but I think it's a good one.
Yeah, I'd have to think, honestly. I don't know. I know we had discussed it before, but I think the most notable thing is definitely my change in confidence based on my stream, like my personal confidence. That's been the biggest, I guess, personal change over my streaming career. I know that's not really such a public change, I guess, that people would be able to outright see, but I think it's something that's made the biggest impact on me as a whole. And I'm very thankful for that, honestly. I'm thankful to be where I'm at because of the help of everyone.
Yeah, I've seen people like you have very lovingly community that supports you, and it has been a pleasure like even interacting with them. There has been this one stream that I cannot forget where two people kept gifting like hundreds of subs. I actually got like a level 3 sub. I was like, who's that madman who gifts level 3 subs? And then I saw there were hundreds of them. I was like, oh, and I was actually thinking, how did you feel in that moment? Because I myself can imagine like being in new shoes and say, okay, I'm glad that you support me, but when it comes to that much, that great amount, I'd feel like I'd feel pretty, I don't know, unease. Like that's a lot. That's a lot of money. You don't want to do this.
I definitely was shocked. I believe the time that you were there to see that, as Lukey refers to it, oh god, the war. Yeah. It was my returning stream, so I've been gone for almost a month. Yeah, so I had never in like, I guess my 2 years of streaming, I had never taken a whole month off. I had hardly ever taken like a week off, you know? Oftentimes if I took a whole week, I'd be right back to it. But a whole month was really insane. And especially during Christmas time, you know, it was like, you know, a time that many people get like comfy and they want to, you know, be able to watch a streamer they like and be able to feel that kind of Christmas spirit, you know, and I think that did play into what happened, but, I know
great Christmas gift.
Yeah, I know that people were happy to see me back, but I did definitely feel a bit of unease. I think for me, no matter what, like if people are gifting subs, like, and they gift like even 5, like 10 subs, I always say like, please be taking care of yourself first, because like I get so worried. I get so worried about people. It's like, I know if you're saying you're fine, but like, buy yourself something nice if you have this money to spend, like, please. I like plead with people.
Yeah, I mean, I think these worrying a sentiment, like this feeling of like you being worried about other people, getting into the conflict of being like I suppose it gets like intertwined and conflicting with the fact that they're willing to spend that money to support you, that much money to support you. And it's wonderful because let's remember that, I mean, streaming and working and so on, like there is a whole life outside of streaming, maybe there's working and so on. So time is like streaming is time consuming, energy consuming and so on, and it's wonderful when people support you with like being able to actually, you know, buy groceries after you finish streaming and pay for the bill. That works as well.
I think for me, the reason why I'm also really adamant, not only because I worry about people and like, you know, how they're doing financially, but also because I guess when I went into streaming, like I had mentioned, I wasn't looking to get any monetary like value from it. You know, I wasn't hoping for anything. So like seeing people being like generous and giving me money to help support myself or support the stream, a lot of the money I get I put back into the stream, you know, to get new models, new overlays, you know, get music, you know, different artwork, music, you know, like so that I can improve the quality of the stream. You know, if I bought a new mic early on when I had gotten, you know, support, and it's just, I don't know, it's very heartwarming to know that people, you know, like my content so much to support me, but at the same time, I don't think I'm ever gonna change where I feel like you better be taking care of yourself. I'll always scold people, I think it's part of my nature, I guess.
I mean, that's also part of what you are and what people like about you. So, and let me just, since we're talking about your theme, I see that hello Dliko and hello Noxy, thank you for passing by. I want to remind people that KYUUON has not only one but two BGMs. So
yes,
putting them back into the
loop.
Yeah. Because I was actually like, I think I've been like 30 minutes, or maybe 20 or 30 minutes of the early interview. Like the first 30 minutes, there was like these single minutes on loop, and I never got tired of it. I was like, I enjoyed this so much, and then I just changed because I thought, okay, you know what?
I'm glad you like it so much. The first one I got, it was actually the person's first music commission, so they didn't know what like they were doing. I gave them full creative control, and I think it came out amazingly. I really, really like it. But it's not really a looping kind of audio. The second one was made by people who do make a lot of BGMs for, you know, streamers and stuff. So they made it like very loopable, where it like rolls over on itself perfectly. So I think that's really cool because I do have it on most of the time when I start my stream. That's the song that's playing, and that's you know the vibe.
I've done my homework. In the last few days. I've been binge watching your last streams to get info, and yeah, I think it's very loopable. It feels these vibes of like login screen. I could see your character being featured in some games, and you have this login screen. I love it. We have a question from Dliko23, that is my moderator. He wants to know, what's your mic?
My mic, it's not anything super good, but it is the Elgato Wave 3.
Ooh,
it is a USB mic, but it works great.
I was actually very interested about that because I have like the Elgato Lite, Elgato Stream Deck, so I'm getting everything.
Elgato, the full Elgato set.
Elgato, please sponsor us. I'm spending all of my money for you. All of my stream money goes to you. Please sponsor us. And Glico actually got offended because it's also his one, so you can say it's nothing special. You gotta say it is very special.
It is. I don't know. I feel like some people have an idea the USB mics are not as good as like you know, the XLR cable ones.
Sounds like elitist speaking.
Yeah, I used to have like a super cheap one, like a $30 mic, and it was very bad. And then I had a Razer mic, which was like $60, and it was okay. You know, it worked fine. But then when this one went on sale, I bought it immediately. Like, I was like, wow, you know, that's really gonna upgrade my sound. And now I even have like, I think it was a little less than 100.
That's good
for me. So I was kind of shocked. I think I got it around Black Friday times, but I got it quite a few years back. So, but I was glad to find the deal. Honestly, I was thankful because at the time I was saving up to get some stuff for a new setup, and that was one of the big things I wanted to upgrade because I felt like my mic was like a little bit bad.
Yeah, I mean, so if people were wondering what do streamers get with their money, well, now you know. Now you know.
Yes.
And I'm very happy about how this interview went. Like I could go on talking. I'm not sure if you I want to grab I will take anything more out of this interview. Like I enjoy talking with you because you're so your vibe is so positive. I'm repeating myself, but I don't know how else to describe it. Souls is saying the Souls. I think that I have to say is that I've learned a lot from this interview. If you want to have, the Souls is a viewer of mine that is an Italian guy that is now living in America, so in the United States. So if you want to ask anything, feel free. And Glico adds, Glico23, that is actually giving you some advice for the audio. He said that you need to put it in, to put some VST. I have no idea what that stands for, because it's very dry as an audio and it's a waste. The mic isn't the problem. Yeah. Glico always has, like, he's the most efficient person I know. Like, everything in this stream, if it works, it's because of him. So, I always trust what he says. I have no idea what he said, but I trust what he says with all my life. So, thank you, Glico.
I'm thankful for your advice. Honestly, I don't know how to tune the mic, and I know it would sound a lot better if I did know.
Glico, if you want to DM me how to do so, I will forward it to her. No problem.
Yeah, I'm happy to increase my tuning of the mic and my knowledge of it, because I do agree with you, it's not the mic's problem. I'm happy with how the audio comes through, but I know it could be so much better.
Actually, I do have another question that is very interesting. Like, if you still have time, I don't want to keep you.
I have time.
Okay, perfect. Because, as you know, I'm a voice actor, right?
Yes.
I love voice acting. It's my favorite passion of all. It's something that I love so much. And you told me you actually like voice acting, at least as an hobby or as a concept. You would enjoy voice acting. Is that so?
I would. I did try out for a voice acting role only one time, but
I remember you like go to Provino. How do you say that in English? You went to try to voice act, and you needed to be like evaluated.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us about it. I'm very curious.
It was fine. I mean, I didn't get picked, of course, but the reason why I actually wanted to be the voice actress for one of the parts was because it was like a cyberpunk themed visual novel.
Ooh.
And the person who was doing all the art for the visual novel is my model artist. So they're the one who made and designed my VTuber model. So I wanted to try and, see if, maybe I could work on this project too. And I did the voices for a couple different characters. I tried to, I think the mic tuning honestly would have helped me here, but I tried to like go in my closet and make like a studio space so there would be no echo. And I crouched down in there on a laptop and like recorded all my audio trying to like, make sure it wasn't bad.
I know the struggles. I know the struggles of trying to record in your own in your own house. That is
yes. But I don't know, it was enjoyable. I'm glad that, they took the time to even consider me. They did get back to me and tell me that, it wasn't what they're looking for, but thanks for applying. And I was happy to hear back from them. I didn't apply for anything else, but I would like to in the future, because I think that, I don't know, it would be cool to know I voice acted something.
Yeah, it will be wonderful. We could collab in something. Why not? Since we both are into this streaming world, we could get something done. Yuki also adds that you have quite a bit of decent accents.
Yeah, I don't know. I mostly just did them for fun because when I was growing up, I watched a lot of like British TV shows.
Do you think my own accent is British?
No.
No, it isn't.
No, it doesn't sound British.
I have no idea what it sounds like. I think it sounds pretty Italian.
I think so. But I'd say the accents that I tend to do the most, sometimes I just kind of slip into it, where I'll just do a British accent, or like sometimes
I actually love your British accents. When you go all KYUUON, British KYUUON, I love it.
Yes. Sometimes if I get like I don't want to say in an argument, but like in a disagreement with a viewer, I'll start getting Scottish. I'll start sounding like an angry Scottish person. But I don't know, it's pretty fun, honestly. I know I did have one person come into my stream one time and they felt like I was mocking the British accent, because I do know, I guess it can be a thing, but I had to kind of clarify, like, I'm not mocking it. Mocking it is like rude.
Impressions aren't mocking.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just doing like an impression of it, I think it's cool, and I'd like to see if I could do it too, and it's just, an accent, and I'm not trying to make fun of them. So I did have to clarify that only one time. And the person was understanding, but I think it is really fun to be able to like appreciate the different words that they use. Like, so yeah, sometimes when I'm in my British accent, I'll have to like think about it, how like a British person would say a certain thing, and like, because I don't know, they have words for
especially
different
curse
things.
words. I love like British curse words. Like,
They're
you're
so funny.
There's not like you're an idiot. No, you're a twat. What even is that? Anyway. Also, what is it? Gakimono asks, the most important question is, when will we have a Kuro Naeda rap song featuring KYUUON?
Oh my gosh.
A rap song. Ooh, sounds interesting. Would you be up for it?
I mean, I would. I've done only one song thing so far. But I haven't done any covers or anything. It was an original piece. It was actually a submission for the Cyberpunk 2077 game. They had a music contest.
Ooh.
And so me and a friend of mine and their girlfriend, they all worked together to make a song. So I don't know. It's very cool.
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'd love to work on more music, so it's definitely a possibility.
Anything that is music related, I'm all for it. I love music. Not really good with music, but I love music, so... Glico adds, he did create presets for female voices. So he can work on it. So, perfect, Glico. And
thank you.
yeah, I've seen other people joining in. The Hello Rab, Thank you for passing by. When I do the peace sign is because I've read you guys. I'm reading all of you guys, even if I'm not reading out loud because I don't want to interrupt our guest. That is being very, very patient with me forgetting how to speak in English.
You're fine. It's not your first language anyways.
I know, right? Feels bad to me. Like voice is my war horse. Is that something you also say in English? Like something being your war or horse? No. No.
I haven't heard many people say it, but I can understand like the meaning that you're going for.
Il cavallo di battaglia. That's how it is in Italian. So yeah. What can you say in Italian? Let's have a little bit of a. I mean, you've seen Jojo Ventuario. Everybody's seen Ventuario. Everybody is Italian now.
I don't know. I never learned anything in Italian. I took Spanish in school, but I did not do very good. And I'm learning Japanese, but I don't know. I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to be, fluent in more than one language. As you are, you're able to speak multiple languages. It's a big skill.
I mean, yeah. I mean, as long as you know English, you're pretty much alright in most all
English is the
world.
default.
Yeah. Except for Japan, and people in Japan don't know English, so you need to learn Japanese. Yeah, that's something that is problematic. So I myself am learning Japanese. I've been learning Japanese back in the days for that very reason, and I should get get lessons from you. 日本語を勉強します。
はい。今日本語を勉強します。
ちょっと話します。でも。Very, very many languages. Very good speaker in many languages. Kuro Naeda.
Yes. Multilingual.
Yeah, I'm a polyglot.
Yes.
And I love when Super Tiger Fox says, I love when they call someone a gem is hard. What the heck is that?
Yeah, British people. That's a British insult.
I didn't even know. Okay, I suppose I can tell other people that. Should be.
They get some funny insults. The British people do.
British people and their insults. It's always a new discovery.
Yes.
And Babone asks, for Edge Runner or for the basic game, the contest?
It was for the basic game. I wish it was for Edge Runners, the anime. But yeah, it was for the basic game. I guess in like your car or something, you can play music on the radio. Yeah. And your song would be officially featured on like the radio in the game.
That was wonderful. So, I haven't finished Cyberpunk 2077 yet because I want to change my graphic board before, I don't want to finish the game without tasting the real graphics, but I've played it, so that was very cool. So, and it didn't get featured, sadly.
No, it didn't, but it was a great experience. So, it was working with some friends of mine, actually. The person who made the song, made the lyrics, and mixed everything together is my friend Luna, and they do also play Project Heartbeat. They make a lot of charts and stuff, so that's how I know them. And they were looking for someone to sing for it, and I said, I mean, if you have no one else, I'll do it.
That's good.
So that's how it happened.
Not wasting opportunities. That's how you live life. Perfect. And Babone also asks if you could say, like, is uncertified Italian, if you could say pizza and spaghetti.
Pizza and spaghetti.
That's good. That's not spaghetti or gnocchi.
Spaghetti.
Yeah. I can't stand spaghetti, gnocchi. Gnocchi is something that is gnocchi. That's the real pronunciation, but yeah. Gnocchi. Try it again.
Gnocchi.
That's nice. Because the sound ñ isn't there in English, so also Bologna. Yeah. Spaghetti alla bolognese. Yeah. This isn't an Italian lesson though. I know I see people in the chat that are trying to force you to make some gaffes. Bad people, bonk. Don't try to shame our guest Italian. Pizza e spaghetti sono comunque parole universali. Yeah, Soul says that. Yeah, universal words. True. Yeah, that's true.
It's true. It's true. They're the same in Japanese too. I actually got super stuck. I was stuck. It was pizza. I understood, fine.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was spaghetti, I was like
Spaghetti.
stuck. Yeah, I was like spaghetti, and the teacher just looked at me with the like straightest face, and she was like, "It's like spaghetti." I was like, "Okay, don't do this to me right now."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's universal, definitely.
So you actually follow you're followed by a teacher in Japanese.
Yes, so I did do a lot of learning on my own for a while, but I do go to classes. So I take a class twice a week with a Japanese teacher. She lives in Japan, and she's taught me a lot of what I know. I've been learning from her for a little over a year now. But yeah, I found them online on, I pretty much just looked up like individual one-on-one Japanese lessons online. And I found their website. I had signed up under this like big website, and they evaluated me and put me with the teacher. And now all this time later, we're still working together and learning. So I don't know. I'm thankful for them and being patient with me. I know during the week I tend to be pretty busy, so I feel like sometimes I don't get as much studying in as I'd like, but having that twice a week review is really helpful for me, because that means like even if I don't have time to like sit down and study as much as I'd like to, I'll still be getting like some knowledge and some practice in from talking to my teacher and like going over the textbooks and stuff.
So I see a pattern. You've also started streaming because of discipline. Is that because if you have to do something, even if you can't manage to or don't want to in that very moment, since you need to, you have to, and then you can put yourself into it. That's a good way to like willpower is something that is very overrated. So
yeah, I think it's helpful for me personally to like have that push of like doing it, Sometimes that's why it's helpful to work on live 2D while I'm streaming, or like, even just having people watch, while I do live 2D. Just to like help me stay motivated, push me to do it, make sure, I get through it.
Yeah, you have weaknesses. You can't slack off.
Exactly. It's like when you're in school and they like look over your shoulder to see if you're working.
You in that moment,
you cannot hide.
You're under their watch. We have a question from Dliko, and this is actually very interesting because I think it is the most impressive thing I've ever seen from a VTuber. That is your lip sync. Can you actually zoom on the face, because I've seen you when you first released this model with a lip sync, and you were playing with it. And it's so smooth, it's so precise. It is very, very impressive. Look at that.
I'm glad you think so. Honestly, I tried very hard. I'm not using even the full range right now. I do have 2 other tracking features that aren't on right now because I'm getting a stand for my phone. I actually to use for face tracking for the lip sync, I use a camera. And usually I will use an iPhone, which allows me to do more parameters, so I can like chew as well. So like if I'm eating something, you'll see my jaw and it'll move, and I'll have a little bit more complexity, I guess, to my mouth forms. But even as it is right now, I have a lot of small mouth shapes, so you can see when my mouth is like only kind of open, which I think gives a lot more, I guess, realism. to see the words that I'm saying as I say them.
It feels very like, how would I say, like deeper as a whole. Like the movements from of the mouth are more precise and more varying. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
So, even the smallest change, instead of repeating patterns that are, I mean, they're okay. Other people use that. It's completely fine, understandable, and enjoyable. But yours is kind of stunning.
I'm glad you think so. Honestly, I worked pretty hard on it to try and make it look as good as possible, to be a good upgrade for my mouth. And I tried some new stuff, and I'm very happy that I did. I'm very happy how it came out.
I think it will be even funnier during a karaoke stream. I've seen people trying to push you into that.
Yes, I'm still scared. I did one karaoke stream before, but I was nervous. I think knowing if my mic's tuned a little bit more, and also I found out during karaoke streams you're supposed to use a reverb filter. I went in like without anything, like no filters, just my regular voice. I didn't realize that's what everyone else was doing.
Is that so? I didn't know that they were using hacks.
Yeah, I didn't know either. So I didn't use any hacks, but I was like, wait a minute, like
I didn't. Okay.
Other people are using hacks. Like, wait, what?
Okay. If other people are cheating, then it's not cheating if I do so. Also, Delico asked if you use true depths of iPhone, like iPhone's true depths.
I don't use it, or at least I'm not using it right now.
Okay.
For a true depth, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's the tracking that they have. I know, at least to say what I use the iFacial mocap tracking, which is just a capture. But if the meaning of true depth, since I'm not super familiar with iPhones, I only use it for my face tracking. I bought one just for that. If the true depth is just referring to the actual face tracking, yes, I do use it. The iPhone 10 and later had a special implementation where you could use like Face ID.
Cool.
And it tracks your face, and it has like complex face tracking, so it can tell if your tongue's out, if your lips are to the side, if your cheeks are puffed. If that's the true depth tracking.
Yeah, the Face ID one.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that is what I use. So it is utilized. I send it through 2 different programs. So I send it, the way that I capture the face from the phone is I use the app iFacial Mocap. And then from there, I send that to this program called VBridger that I have on Steam. And then from there, I send it to VTube Studio, which tracks my face. So it's a bit of a group of things, because VBridger adds even more depth tracking. So it uses the true depth of the iPhone face tracking and adds even more to it. So I usually use that so that I can get like the chewing mouth effect when I'm eating.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like focusing on that alone could be an actual format on its own, like just chatting with very maybe exaggerated, but not like Pixar exaggerated, but like normally expressful expressions.
Yeah.
I mean, could be pretty good to see. Like, it would be funny. I mean, as a look at that. Like, it's adorable. You could actually create content out of these alone. I think it helps with a character affirming. Yeah, affirming the personality. I think for me, a lot of my personality shows in my face, like how I'm feeling, and I think I'm very expressive, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have a VTuber model with face tracking and stuff. From the very beginning, I said I need to have one with face tracking because, I'm very expressive, and I wanted to stream
but I was against using a face cam. So I was like, so what, am I just gonna be like a picture, a PNG at the bottom corner? And I said, well, no one will know how I feel. Like, people won't be able to see my expressions. Like, they won't be able to see my movements, my excitement, you know? So I was like, oh, I'll make a model. And that's why VTubing was so appealing to me.
That was actually a pretty difficult obstacle to go through. Like, I myself thought about like being a VTuber back in the day, even though I am no artist in that field, so I actually told myself it's not my face that is problematic. My voice is my warhorse, as I said, so it could get through. Problem is, I mean, I could also be because I'm Italian, but I move my hands a lot.
Yes.
I move my hands a lot, and I've also done my research, and hand tracking is kind of fucked up and also costs a lot of money. So yeah.
Yes. It's definitely a little bit awkward, and unless you're willing to spend like thousands of dollars, it's not gonna look fully articulate. You know, you could get a little bit of movement from like, you know, even 2D, even 3D models. 3D models are better for hand tracking. But there are plenty of times where it's just, you know, it won't track your hand, or it'll think it's the wrong one, or it gets confused and just drops your hands. You're like, wait, I was talking.
Sorry.
No, it was like just saying like, you know, wait, you know, you're talking with your hands, and like the hands drop down, and you're like, wait, no, but I was using those. I was talking with my hands, you know, I was showing the people how I felt, and then the hand tracking just dies.
Yeah, it kind of, I mean, it can be a funny gag from time to time, but it's a kind of mood breaker because you realize people realize another time that you're not that, you're an avatar, so it kind of bugs, yeah. And I actually remember you using, I love that, the tracking for your controller, when you had your hands on your controller, and when you click buttons, it was so good. I'm
gonna be adding that to this model as well. I'm gonna have it redone so that I can put it onto this one as well. So I'm excited for it.
Yep. Delico asks if he tried having trackers for your body from Vive.
I haven't tried with Vive specifically. I haven't tried even getting full body tracking. I know it's something I do want to do in the future. But I think that would be, I did get a 3D model, so I do have like the body, the vessel to be able to have full body tracking. However, I know it's very expensive. I know the Vive trackers, I think you can use like 5 of them or like 6 of them and get an accurate reading of your body, like one on each arm, one on each leg, and, you know, one on your hips and one on your like chest, torso area. But I think they might also want them on like I guess they put them on the feet, you know, so you can move your feet around. But
yeah,
I know there are full body tracking suits as well, but those are like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too expensive for the quality it gives. Like, I mean,
yeah,
you don't really kick during the live streams.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's cool to have. I think it's cool to be able to, you know, just be able to vibe with it, you know, be able to have that 3D model and move around and feel like, I guess, feel like it's you know, you're like, I can move my body. But I think after a little while, if the tracking isn't like really good, it looks like you start to notice the flaws. You start to be like, oh, you know, my leg doesn't quite move, you know, the right way, and I look a little awkward. So I think it's cool in novelty, and like if you have a really good tracking system, I think it's really cool in use. But unless that was like my main content goal, I don't think I would be pursuing it to get like good full body tracking, at least not anytime soon.
I mean, but it's a good thing to know that you're actually going to improve in that like not only in horizontal quality but also wide, like vertical quality. You go about bettering what you already have and expanding what you do have in tracking, I mean.
Yes, exactly.
Very cool. We've got a question from Ibis that asks, which one is your favorite Fire Emblem game? We were talking about strategic turn-based games earlier. Have you ever played Fire Emblem?
I haven't. The one that I know the most about is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Like, I was interested, and I was actually intending to purchase that game.
I like that game. I like that game a lot.
That would probably be the one that I'm most biased towards. I know I can't. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I don't have a favorite one. I can't say because I haven't played it. But I actually would like to play that on stream. You know, I think that would be fun. I forget where it was released. The Switch, maybe. Yeah. So I would be able to do that. But yeah, I would like to play one in the future. Like you mentioned, we like turn-based games, so
yeah, like I played Dimension Neptunia. I remember you playing that. So yeah, Byleth best waifu. You're gonna disagree with that in the future. We'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward for your Fire Emblem playthrough though.
Yeah. I'll definitely play it sometime during this year. I'd say in the next few months. I know I've got a lot going on, but I would really like to play
Very excited, very excited. So not only we're going to have a collaboration with one of your most played games, but also a new game entirely.
Yeah.
That's
Try
very...
and mix it sometimes.
Very, very interested. Also, luckily, I always end up my streams during early night time. That is basically midday for you, so works perfectly. Also, Soul Stella asks, are you ever planning to do 3D VTuber commissions?
Taking in 3D VTuber commissions, I don't think I'll ever plan to do that, just because I'm not proficient in 3D. My 3D model, I commissioned it from someone else, and I actually originally did try and do 3D work before I did 2D, and I thought it was too hard, and I thought Live 2D looked easier, and then I realized it was also hard, but I stuck with Live 2D. So I think for the future, the only commissions I'll be offering is Live 2D. I don't offer any art commissions right now. The only commissions for art I've ever offered were emotes. I took 2 emote commissions and then I closed them and I never opened them again. But I will say, I do think in the future I will be, I can't say when, but we'll be taking in a slot to draw the VTuber as well as rig them. So I'll be hopefully drawing a model for someone someday. And, you know, I guess that would be the only thing that I don't offer now that I'd plan to offer in the future.
Perfect. Frigo91 asks, hi, you are Italian. If you're talking about me, sì, sono italiano. If you're talking about our guest, KYUUON, she comes from the United States, is that correct?
I do. Yes, I do.
Which state, if I can ask?
I don't give away the state, but I'm on the East Coast of the US, so I use EST. Yeah.
Perfect. And so many things to ask. So I don't want to go off topic yet. I'm not sure how to.
You're fine if you want to go off topic. It's no worries.
Well, most of the things you've said answered my questions, to be honest. I've had different questions on yourself as KYUUON, yourself as a rigging artist, cyberpunk waifu, variety streamer. I think you've done pretty much all of them. So I'm pretty, like feeling good about this interview. So
yeah.
If the audience has any other questions, I'm sure she'll be delighted to answer them.
Yes.
Like, I've been ignoring one, but since it's the only one right now that is here, Glico asked, what do you think about Morgana? I'm not sure if he's talking about Persona 5 Morgana, my cat Morgana.
I'm not sure either. For Persona 5, I love Morgana. I'm definitely a cat person. I love dogs too, but I definitely am a little bit cat biased. As for your cat Morgana, I can't say for sure, but I love cats. So also I love.
I think we can actually manage. Give me a second. Are you? Can you see me on stream? I think there's gonna be a little bit of lag, but can you see me on stream? Okay, perfect. Let me just grab my cat that is here.
Yes, I'd love to see the kitty. How would you rate the interview on a scale from 1 to 10? Definitely a 10. It's been a great interview. I'm very happy to be here. Oh my gosh, the kitty. Here, let me see. I'm a little behind. Oh, the kitty! Oh!
She's very tired.
Oh, tired. Sleepy kitty. I see the blinks. Sleepy.
She's also very, like, she doesn't mind getting petted in any way, so... Very pettable cat. She doesn't know what's going on most of the time. She's just accepting whatever comes. No.
I like how her arms are just in the air, like, okay, whatever happens, happens. Like.
So yeah.
Very good. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, cat?
Yes.
Good, Morgana. She's licking herself out of happiness. And we have Yuki question. Honestly, what inspired you to get a poncho? I think it stands out quite a bit.
Well, here, I'll zoom out just a little bit just so we can see the poncho as well again. I actually was in a bit of a turmoil. So my first model art was done by Bert, but he didn't design it. And the second one, which is this one with the poncho, he did design it because he has that, you know, cyberpunk aesthetic. So I said, okay, I want it asymmetrical. And he drew me 3 options. One big, like, longer jacket. One, the cropped jacket, which I actually have here. This is the short jacket. Ooh. And then he drew one with the poncho. And I thought, wow, the poncho is so unique. I've never really seen anyone with a futuristic, like, see-through plastic poncho. That's really cool. And I really wanted the idea of, like, the glowing strips on the plastic.
I love it. It gives also the warning sign kind of vibe. Like, it's a virus here.
Yes.
Shouldn't be coming here.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was so unique. And I was supposed to only pick one, technically. I was supposed to pick between the poncho or the jacket. And they had different shirts as well. The shirts were different. But I said, oh, could I get the poncho and the jacket? Like, I'll commission you for both, and we'll do the same base outfit. So if you look, actually, when I switch my jacket, you can see on both the shirts, I have these weird, I guess, like, inner cuts by my collarbone. But on the jacket version, I actually have a triangle hole in the shirt. So I thought that the triangle hole would take away from the poncho. So you can see it's a triangle hole, but when I put on the poncho, it disappears. So I ended up getting just both of them because, you know, that was, I guess my bias was too close to the poncho, but I like the idea of the jacket too, so I couldn't pass it up.
I love how it looks on, and as I said, it is unique, so I truly appreciate that. Like, it gives out the virus vibe a lot. And we also have another question. KYUUON from Barbonejo.
Yes.
How would you rate the interviewer on a scale from 1 to 10?
I would say 10 out of 10 has been a great interview. I've had a lot of fun. All the questions you've asked and the way we've bounced topics back and forth has been great. So,
thank you. I mean, there wasn't any other politically correct answer, so good. That is also true.
Very true.
We also have another question from Ibis. Unsure if this was already asked. Any tips for VTubers that want to start out? Which style of model do you think they should go for?
Yes, okay, so we did answer this one, but I will also give you a quick rundown just to let you know. So my tip to start out is, if you haven't tried streaming already, make sure to try streaming. Don't spend a lot of money on your VTuber. Don't spend money on overlays or any of that stuff. Start out streaming, just see if you enjoy it. Play games. You can commission like a PNG, or if you want to, make yourself a Vroid model. It's like a free software. If you want to have face tracking, it's a 3D model. You can make it all yourself. There are different like textures and stuff you can buy online if you don't want to make them. But if you want to have face tracking, my biggest suggestion is make your own Vroid. If you don't really care about the face tracking, then I would say do a PNG. I think you can get some cute pictures. But also, you might not be fully set in your VTuber design. So it's good to start out with like pictures and ideas. And if you want to develop it and, you know, improve it over time before you commission a model, as they're very expensive. But yeah, my biggest tip, save your money, see if you like it first, and, you know, then go forward based on how you feel. You know, try it out for a good while with spending very minimal on it and, you know, just having a PNG or something you made yourself.
Yeah, do you think that having gimmick personality could help? Like, standing out?
I think that it could, but I also think it's dependent on how someone pulls it off, I think. Because I think for sometimes people aren't going to, I guess, connect so much with that, because if it's like the gimmick personality, you know, maybe they don't feel so connected to you as a person, you know. But I don't know. I think it definitely could work for some people if it's done in a specific way and they're able to pull it off well, I think. But I don't know. I think for me, staying true to myself is probably the easiest and best thing that I like to do.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, why stop?
Yeah, exactly.
So Stellar also asks, this is for the lore here.
Yes.
Best weapon for home defense in the cyber world?
Home defense, you don't want anything too big, you know, nothing too flashy like you would have, you know, out in the world, like a railgun. That's my specialized weapon for my VTuber. I have a railgun design. But that's a little bit too big for home defense. I would say a sword of some sort. Maybe an energy sword, you know, so it could be stored, kind of like almost like a lightsaber, but in katana form. So it can be, you know, pulled out really easily if you need it, but also stored away, so it's not just a dangerous weapon just sitting around, you know, openly in your house. So that would be my best suggestion.
Also, I think that if you could retrieve the blade and take it out instantly, it could get up for some cool shenanigans during fights. If you just put it in a graphic novel, like you parry and then you just get the blade out, so the blade shifts down and then you get it back. So, yeah.
Yes.
Then we have another question from Frigo91. Request for KYUUON. What app do you use for character for anime? I'm not really understanding. I think it is the question about your avatar. Like, which one?
For face tracking. For this, so I'm using a 2D model. So I use VTube Studio. That's the most popular one. But if you're using a 3D model, like I mentioned before with Vroid, you use VC Face. And that's like the letter V, SEE face.
Perfect.
But yeah, both of those are the main programs I'd recommend, of course, 2D and 3D respective.
Ibis asks another question, an extremely important question. If you had to fight a clone of yourself, would you pick a bat or a knife? You can choose either one, but your clone gets the other one.
Well, let's see. I don't know. I think that's a little bit hard. Maybe a bat, I would say. I'll take the bat. The knife is shorter range. It could deal more damage if they get close, but I don't know. I think a bat could do some serious damage, you know, if you're able to keep the bit of distance that you need, because you'll have like the longer range, you know. And I think your weapon's a little bit more versatile, you know. Knives can do stabbing and slashing, but, you know, I think the bat could also be used as like an accessory, as well as like something to defend yourself, you know, something to attack with, you know, something as a, I guess, an additional support item. I think it's more versatile for your fight with the clone.
I mean, humans have always fought with sticks, then they put like knives on sticks, but basically sticks are good.
Yeah.
Also, like, it has stunning damage. Maybe you could actually get a lethal damage to the enemy, but they could fight back. If you got a bonk on the head, enemies is no more. Maybe the clone isn't dead, but sure as hell it's not gonna fight back, so...
Yeah, I'll take their knife then.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
after the bonking.
I'm saying, after I bonk them, then I'll take their knife so they can't get up and fight back.
So you're fighting against your clone and the first thing you do is looting it. Okay, understandable.
Yeah, I'm
Getting on the grind set.
Yes.
Question from Luki. What tips would you give to someone wanting to come up with a design for a VTuber model? So, no idea. So, like, if I understand the question correctly, you want to be a VTuber, you want to create a model, but you have no idea on what to base it on. Like, in your case, the gimmick is the cyberpunk waifu.
Yeah. So I think for me personally, I actually went through this. I was unsure about what I wanted to be when I wanted to become a VTuber. I was kind of stuck. I would say kind of hone into your passions, things that you enjoy. So it could be an aesthetic like cyberpunk, like that I enjoy. I enjoy techwear and, you know, just that futuristic city kind of vibe. It resonates with me. But the original idea that I had is I was going to be a dragon VTuber.
Ooh.
I was going to be a dragon. Ever since I've been a kid, I've loved dragons. It's like a poisonous obsession of mine.
To be honest, I don't think I can see you as a dragon. I think I've linked your voice and your... when I think of KYUUON, I can think of the virus, cyberpunk waifu. Can seem to...
Yeah.
So, would be
I don't
weird.
know. I think it'd be pretty different if I was. The reason why I actually didn't pick dragon, which I think is a silly reason, but I'm still glad that I didn't, is I thought, wow, there's so many dragon VTubers. I see dragon VTuber everywhere. I'm gonna pick a theme that someone else has, and they're gonna think I copied them. And it might look like I did, but I didn't mean to, because there's so many. So I could be like, oh, you know, I'll be a strawberry dragon. And then suddenly I find out there's like 3 other strawberry dragons. I'm not the only one. And then I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a copycat. So that's what I was scared of. But I do think there's a lot of like unique ways to go about different character designs, different animals, you know. You can't, you know... Eventually, there's going to be 2 people that choose the same animal. But I'd say find something that resonates with you the most in terms of design, or like look through the community and see if something you enjoy has been done, you know, if you want to try and be creative and unique, if that's like your goal in terms of your design, look around in the community. When I joined, there were some cyberpunk themed VTubers, but it was very few and far between. It was like, you know, not very many people as opposed to dragon. So I wanted to be a little bit more unique, you know, be in my own category, not feel like I was copying someone else. So that's kind of why I went the route that I did, and I really like the vibe either way. So I think that it worked out for the best. I'm happy that I took a second to think about it. But in terms of coming up with a design, I'd also say keep your options open. Not every design is going to fit the first time. My first like trial at a model design was horrendous. It did not work out well. I didn't love it. So I guess be open to change, you know, if you're just getting your ideas out, make sure it's something that you really do love and enjoy, rather than just, you know, taking something because, you know, you think it's fine or it's just cool, you know. It's the thing that represents you. So if you want it to be unique and like you want it to be expressive of you, just, I don't know, try and make sure you love it before you really continue and pursue.
I think it is a very very good advice, especially because in every gimmick you take has a sub category. Like being cyberpunk, it means tech wares, means like music. It gets into electronic sounds. Meanwhile, if you took a dragon, like an Asian dragon, will be more like a Japanese instrumentation and so on. So yeah. Could be also looking that way. Also the font you use. Yeah, many things are getting inspired from your main gimmick. I myself used to have like a pixeled kind of graphics. Then I just don't know. I think I switched to something more classy, like black and white, gold. I love those colors, so I said, okay, you know what? I mean, I'm not a pixel myself. I'm more of a. But yeah, I'm still looking for my own. So if I could answer for myself, I'm not a VTuber, so it gets a little bit different. But I myself am looking for my own style yet. You keep trying until you feel very comfy.
That's something I definitely agree on. And in terms of VTuber models, I've seen, unfortunately, people decide, oh, I got this design done and it's cute and everything, and now I'm going to commission a VTuber model. And suddenly, you know, they're like, okay, they're mid-commission, very expensive. And then they realize, hey, wait a minute, maybe I don't want to be like a bumblebee girl. Maybe I want to be like a dog girl. And I changed my mind, you know, like, so I think it's really important that like you try out different things to see, you know, hey, maybe you like this for now, you know, but just try it out, see if there's anything you can improve on before taking that big step and, you know, spending a lot of money. Because most of the time models are like, you know, at least four-digit numbers that people have to pay to get a model done. And that's not a little bit of money by any means. It's definitely, you know, people save up, people, you know, have to be prepared to spend that kind of money on something. So it's important to know that it's something you're passionate about and you're going to actually continue and enjoy.
Yeah, I completely agree. Especially when you talk about VTubing, so modeling and so on, rigging. Since it's very costly, and it's nobody's fault. It is time consuming, and even if it is time consuming and it needs skills, it is costly. It's not that people are trying to rip other off. It's just that if things take a lot to make, they cost a lot. That's a simple fact. So that's why people should think if they want to invest that much. As I said, you can even start with a PNG and start a little bit after the other. We have another question from Yuki. Tips on people starting rigging. What to do and what not to do. Let's maybe have one thing that you absolutely have to do and one that you absolutely have not to.
I would say one thing that you absolutely have to do is probably get a detailed overview of the program. Like, that's the hardest thing, I would say. It's very time consuming, and I think many people think, oh, the hardest thing is like, you know, knowing what to do in there, which is true. But like just taking the time to like learn the buttons at the top, like it's very helpful to try and like, you know, orient yourself with a program. I went straight into it without trying to figure it out, doing a little test run. I heavily recommend that people do try, at least do like a free trial of the program, because it does cost money.
Yeah.
To do a free trial and just to learn it, just to get the basic idea. I think that's important before throwing yourself face first into getting it done. Actually, I wanted to make a tutorial that just covered the basics of the program without, you know, needing to learn anything about the rigging process. The program is what stumped me the most when I was starting, is like just knowing what options there were. You know, I got stuck on like 2 options that I knew what they were, and there was like 10 different options. So I think it's helpful to learn what you're working with.
That would be a very good type of YouTube Shorts video, like tips on how to rig. I think people would love that.
Yeah, I thought about making a little series. I was thinking of making a video maybe like 5 minutes long, and then maybe making like little shorts for each individual thing. And basically, the first video of my series, or my hoped to be series, would be me telling people just about the program. No loading in a model, no nothing. Just like, this is the program, like, this is what you need to know in terms of the buttons. Like, don't even worry about putting anything down. As for the what not to do, it's a little bit more of an advanced technique, but I will say to people, never, ever, ever use, it's called skinning on your model too much. It basically makes it run very bad. It's I guess a term. It basically means it takes your one piece and splits it apart into very many pieces.
Oh, I see.
So it takes a lot more rendering power when you're doing it. And for some things it's okay, but just don't use it very sparingly. My big tip, never ever use it too much. I made that mistake. I used it too much on my last model, on my last personal model. And you're supposed to maybe use it like 2, maybe 3 times maximum in a model would be like the total you should do. And I used it like 45 times.
40?
So, yeah. So, I used it for every single piece of hair that I had because I thought, wow, it'll make it so smooth. It makes the movement look so smooth and nice. And I thought, wow, that's so good.
Why is my room a lot warmer for some reason? Why is my computer turning very bright?
I couldn't play any games. Like, I was trying to play Dead by Daylight on the lowest possible settings, doing a collab one time, and my PC was like lagging and burning up, and I was like, the frame rate of the stream was like 12, and I was like, my model was lagging, the game was lagging. I was like, I don't know what I did, but there's a problem. And later I figured out what I did, but it was definitely an experience.
So the lesson is, do learn how to use the software before even trying to work on it. Don't skin.
Yes.
Don't
No
skin
skinning.
models. No skinning.
Yeah. It sounds bad, so don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. IMS asks, what do you think about people using voice modulators to stream?
I guess the biggest VTuber I'm thinking of is Zentrea. Like, basically, they input their voice, but you don't hear it. You only hear the, like, robotic version. I think that's totally fine. Honestly, I think that the fact that that technology exists is really cool. I think that sometimes people can feel more comfortable that way. You know, if they're being in character and stuff. I know, at least in Zentrea's case, she's upgraded to be like an android, you know, so her voice fits her vibe a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I think for some people, I think it's, you know, more comfortable. And I do think it is cool. I like that they played that into their concept, like the robot voice, to make it, I guess, make sense a little bit more. But I don't know. I don't have a problem with voice modulation on stream. I actually would say I prefer that to the people that put like heavy voice filters over their real voice. I'd say sometimes I've heard, you know, people have too many filters on to change the way their voice sounds, and it just doesn't sound so good. So I don't know. I think it is a good alternative if you want to feel more confident and like comfortable if you don't feel that way with your own voice. So, I don't know. I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm. And, well, we're out of questions. And it's been 2 hours and a half.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't expect, to be honest, I was worried that I couldn't make it this far, and keep it interesting for both the audience and for you, of course, because, I mean, I have a lot of questions, but maybe in my head they're all confused, and when I take it out, no words come, so kind of difficult. Instead, I had a wonderful time. I hope you had the same.
Yes, I did. I had an amazing time. It was a lot of fun, and I don't know. I know it's our second interview, but here's to many more in the future.
I hope so. I mean, I'm looking forward for the collab with both the Project Heartbeat, right?
Yes. I'm excited for it.
And the Fire Emblem playthrough. Ooh,
Yes!
We've got so many things to do. And the rap song? Is that gonna become true? We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Only time will answer that. Actually, we've got one last question. Soul Stella asks, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything?
Well, I don't mean to spoil you guys, but it's a big secret, so shh, okay? The secret to life, the universe, the secret to everything. It's the secret, the waifus. So shh, don't tell anyone. The waifus are the most powerful. I am the ultimate waifu, as always. So shh, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone.
I see.
It's the secret.
Waifus.
Yes.
So you
They
have
know
to
all.
preach waifus or be a waifu?
I think either works. You know, being a waifu, you have to take on a little bit more of a role. You know, you got to be the guide. You know,
I see.
the leader, the answer to life. You know, it's a little bit of a big job, really. So, you know, as long as you're appreciating the waifus, I think you're in the clear.
Born too early to visit space, born too late to discover the world, just in time to love waifus. So,
Exactly.
with these form of wisdom that you can all take home, I recommend you all, as you can see right there, to follow KYUUON on all her socials. She has YouTube Shorts. You can find her on Twitter. You can find her on Twitch, of course. Twitch TV. Oh wait, I can even shout out you.
Oh.
So you can have a very fast direct through to the follow. Follow is completely free, so you shouldn't waste this opportunity. So I thank you really much for your time, for your availability, and for the good vibes, because I always enjoy both being your viewer and your interviewer. So
Yeah, I'm so glad. Thank you again for inviting me. I'm glad that, you know, after a year we got to do this interview again, and it was a ton of fun. So I'm glad it went well.
I had a blast. Are you going to stream later? Can I ride you or?
Not today. I'm not streaming. Today is a little bit of an off day for me, unfortunately. But either way, I know we'll head over to somewhere awesome. So
Perfect. This live, like all of my VODs, is going to be uploaded. Oh, thank you for Yuki for the follow. It's going to be uploaded on YouTube, so I'm going to make sure these VODs link goes to you. So if you ever want to recover it, to recover some parts, to clip it, or anything else, you can be free to do so. Thank you once again. I'm very hyped for your collaboration with Project Heartbeat in all of your other projects. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, I'm excited for it too. This year's gonna be really amazing. So I can't wait.
So, usually when I turn off my stream, I like to thank all of my viewers for the support, for the company, and I always remind them of a thing that is very important. That's life. Do you want to do so? Do you want to emulate this goodbye?
Oh, sure. I mean, I could try.
So, thanking the audience. Thank you for the company, and good night. And remember, that's life. That's basically it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you for the company. And yeah, that's live. Thank you.
Goodbye, guys. That's life.
Bye.